We're here today to launch the Victorian Government Business Office Southeast Asia. This is a business office that is about promoting trade, investment, education links between Victoria and Malaysia and the greater Southeast Asia region. Without going into too much detail, I'm happy to, we'll talk a little bit more, and I'm happy to take questions, but basically we've got a great story to tell. We've got an excellent relationship between our two nations, and particularly between Victoria and Malaysia. We've got strong education ties, we've got strong tourism ties, and we've got an excellent range of industries that I think match the needs of the two nations. So with that, I might hand over to our Minister and allow her to briefly go into what we've been doing to date and what we're planning to do.
Thank you very much, Tim, and thank you for your attendance here this afternoon. This is a special day for the Victorian Government here in Malaysia with the opening of our Victorian Government Business Office for Southeast Asia. And can I thank the High Commissioner, Penny Williams, for hosting us here this afternoon and emphasise that it is a strong relationship that the office has with the Australian High Commission, and the High Commissioner and her staff are certainly to be commended for the support they've given to the Victorian team in assisting us to set up our presence here in Kuala Lumpur and in Malaysia. Can I say at the outset some background on why the Victorian Government has placed a priority to have a presence here in Kuala Lumpur? We see this as an important location, a strategic location for which the Victorian Government to base its activities in the Southeast Asian region. This is, of course, a very strategic region. It's an important part of the broader Asia-Pacific region, and the Victorian Government felt that it was of utmost importance that we have a high-profile, strong presence here that's backed up with a commissioner-level appointment in Tim Dillon, and will be supported by a range of different staff that are going to be having the opportunity to work with the Malaysian government, with Malaysian businesses, with education representatives, and with broader community organisations to really build on the strong relationship we have as the state of Victoria with Malaysia, but also to really focus in on some key priority areas, and those priorities are in the areas of tourism, where there's enormous opportunities to expand the relationship with Malaysia in the tourism market. We already have two of Malaysia's carriers flying into Melbourne, and particularly with AirAsia X are a big and emerging airline carrier, and are flying twice daily it's once a day. We'd like them to come in and fly twice a day.
Twice daily from December.
They'll be flying into Melbourne. Of course, it's Malaysia Air that flies in twice daily to Melbourne. And if you consider the growth in air traffic that's going to come in the future as the population expands, as income levels grow, as people's desire to travel beyond current borders and to experience other nations, we're only going to see an increase in tourism traffic, and we certainly are very happy to have that strong presence of those two Malaysian airline companies in Melbourne, and we look forward to that relationship growing more strongly into the future, because of course it's not all one-way traffic. A lot of Malaysians like to come and travel and stay and holiday in Melbourne and Victoria. Likewise, a lot of Victorians love to come and travel and holiday here in Malaysia. Again, food and beverage is also an important priority area. Victoria accounts for 13% of all of the world's dairy exports. 13% come out of Victoria, so we are big players in the dairy industry, and as the consumer demand continues to grow for dairy products, again, particularly in the Southeast Asian region, we see that as a key opportunity as well.
Malaysia provides, apart from an English-speaking population, which matches well with Victoria, there's a good school base there as far as educated staff go. I know that I've found staff who have had experience studying abroad, but also studying at high level in Malaysia, and they're very competent and very skilled. So we look forward to utilising them. Moving on to the next question on opportunities, I think the Minister rightly connected to food and beverage. and dairy. That's key. I think an opportunity in the future will be halal. Now, halal for us is it's an area that we're gaining expertise in. We have the product, but what we need to learn from Malaysia and Southeast Asia is what the requirements are around halal. How do we need to service this market and service it better? We're already doing that. We have 350,000 Muslims living in Australia currently, and that's becoming a niche market that we're targeting. But we need to be able to grow that and expand abroad. I don't see it as competing with Malaysia, who are also very strong in this. I see it as us being able to provide an extra variety or range of products that they may not currently have. It could be counter-seasonal. It could be a product that grows better in Australia than Malaysia, and vice versa. We're going to need product to supply our Muslim population and halal markets in Australia.
Questions? Can I say, I think Australians probably know Malaysia better now than perhaps they did a number of years ago, and that has been in large part because of the movement of people. The movement of people either through international students, and we have around, as I said before, there's around 8,300 students from Malaysia come and study in Victoria, and around 22,000 young people from Malaysia have on an annual basis study in Australia. So that's a lot of mini ambassadors, if you like, for Malaysia coming to Australia and sharing their experiences and educating Australians more about Malaysia. We also have a lot of tourists. We have around 53,000 tourists from Malaysia to Victoria each year, and again with the operation through Malaysia Air and Air Asia X, that movement of people means that the more people who travel, the more people who exchange interactions, they may live next door to one another for a period of time or get to become friends with them, that deepens the understanding of Australians, of Malaysian culture and way of life. And so as we see increased levels of tourism, increased levels of international students, that will continue, and that also gives us, I think, an excellent platform off which to base a number of business and professional relationships as well. And can I say the relationship between the Australian government and the Malaysian government is a strong one. Our Prime Minister has made it a priority to visit Malaysia twice since he's been Prime Minister now for nearly 2 years. He's visited Malaysia already twice. There's been a number of Australian government ministerial visits. And this goes to your second question, why are we here now? It's because the Victorian government sees that Malaysia is a high priority within the Southeast Asian region. For those reasons, there's a lot we have in common, but there's a lot of opportunities that we want to explore, and you can only do that if you have a base in Malaysia. You can only understand fully the business environment, the government environment, the cultural environment. You can only, I guess, make those very strong connections if you have a base. And you staff it with people, you staff it with good people and your resources.
In Southeast Asia, but using KL as the base.
So that's why we're here.